All right, so it's obviously finished Palace 0, Sheffield United 1. We've got Jake here, neutral, not Sheffield United or Palace, Nottingham Forest, is that right?
Correct.
Obviously, mate, as a neutral, it'd be interesting to get your thoughts on how you thought the game went in general. Obviously, two sides that are in different form.
Mm-hmm.
Sheffield United challenging incredibly for Europe.
Yeah.
You were over by the Sheffield United fans, weren't you?
Correct, yeah.
Give your thoughts on the game.
First off, I thought it was pretty much Crystal Palace. I mean, there was a couple of breakaways with Sheffield United, but Zaha's always going to be a threat. I seen there was a few, obviously, shouts with the home fans with fouls and stuff like that. I thought it was a bit of an unbroken game in the first half. Second half, obviously, Sheffield United came through and ended up winning the game. On the whole, like you say, it's a big game today. Obviously, Sheffield United are looking to push forward and move on, which it's already been a great season for them. So anything more is a bonus. Crystal Palace, they're a side that's been down there of recent years, and they want to stay in the Premier League. So I think it's a very important game today, which unfortunately for Crystal Palace, Sheffield United came out on top.
What are your thoughts on the way that Palace played today overall? I think that we've as Palace fans, a lot of Palace fans have critiqued Roy maybe for his tactical setup and the way he's approached the game. We've obviously just come off the back of a transfer window where we've not brought in any real significant players. We've got Tosin on loan, he's injured at the moment, so we're pretty much back to square one. Overall today, what did impress you and what maybe didn't impress you as a neutral?
I mean, for me as a neutral, Zaha is obviously always going to be a threat. Roy not bringing in players over January, I don't think that's a problem, because I think you've got quality. When you look at the likes of West Ham, you look at the likes of the teams down there, Norwich, Newcastle, I think if you put man to man on paper, Crystal Palace have got a genuinely good squad on paper. Tactically, if they're not taking what Roy wants to say, I think they will struggle. But as everyone's seen through the years, Roy is tactically good. So whether it's good for this team or not, I think he will keep them in the division. Obviously, being a Crystal Palace fan yourself, I think it's hard for you guys because you've got so many players with flair that want to do this and that, but it'll set you up not to be beat. And to be honest, until you do get that investment, it's going to be difficult for you to potentially move up the league. But staying in the league, I don't think it's going to be a problem.
Just one of your quick thoughts on the ref as well, because I think that a lot of Palace fans found it frustrating, to say the least. But obviously, we could be biased in our thoughts, so obviously it'll be good to get your thoughts on that. Yeah,
so again, as I've said a couple of times in this, as a neutral, I think referees as a whole, not just this game, for Palace, for the likes of Zaha, it can sort of go against you sometimes. But I've seen a couple of reactions from the Crystal Palace players during today's game, and they like to gather the referee. I don't think that's going to work in their favour. Potentially that's something that the referees look at, potentially that's something that they pick up on. I think refereeing as a whole could be better. But when seeing players surround the referee, which from a footballing background myself, you need to respect the referee, you need to give him his space, and if he makes a decision, you get on with it. And 9 times out of 10, you might get the rub of the green with that. So Zaha, for example, if he's not still moaning 5 minutes later, the next one he might get it.
It's interesting because I think there's been points in the season where we felt that we don't do that enough in some sense. We're too nice about situations like that, not complaining about challenges that probably should get punished and don't get punished. Obviously though, before we finish up, I think just touch quickly on Nottingham Forest, because you could be going up, you could be joining us next season if we're still here.
Potentially. I mean, I'm a realistic Forest fan. We've not really added to the squad. Lamucci at the start of the season was given a 1-year deal, and I think he's done absolutely fantastic with what he's got. We've lost today at Birmingham 2-1.
Was Ben Watson playing?
Was
Watson playing?
I'm not too sure, I didn't look at the team sheet, but I know we took the lead and we ended up losing 2-1. Championship's a tough league. You've been in it, you see how you get out of it, and if you get out of it, it's all about staying up. Fingers crossed we stay up and we end up here next season.
Brilliant. Cheers, mate.